Spring Mountain Vineyard, as you can see with the Victorian setting, it's 151 years of winemaking history right here on 900 acres, right? So there's a lot to it. We are kind of far and above probably the largest wine library in Napa Valley. We have vintages going back all the way to 1979, right? So 45 years here of all estate grown Cabernet Sauvignon. It's unique, it's one of one. So in the 90s, there's a gentleman named Jackie Safra. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Safra banking family. Kind of like the Rothschilds of France in a way. Anyhow, Jackie bought this Miravalle property down here, just over 200 acres, and then over the preceding years, he bought the 3 conjoining ranches. Each were Victorian-age wine estates at the turn of the century, and each one has its own history and legacy and kind of heritage. So the La Perla Ranch, which you guys went up to earlier, that's the site of the first Cabernet Sauvignon ever planted on Spring Mountain. Chateau Chevalier was the largest producer of wine by volume in the state of California by 1895. And it's actually one of the original stone wineries of the valley. It still stands today. It's on the National Register of Historical Buildings. And then the Beringers, I'm sure you've heard of Beringer. Their first mountain vineyards were just up the hill. They had a hunting lodge up there. If you go to Beringer today, there's a little flagstone that says Los Hermanos above the cave entrance. Tiburcio, the guy who founded this property, gave him that nickname. Yeah, the brothers. The brothers, right? As a matter of fact, the Rhine House at Beringer was designed by Friedrich Schoeffer, another German. And Tiburcio and the Beringer brothers were friends, and so when the Beringer brothers bought their place, or had it built, Tiburcio got a little jealous. He says, I want one. Hires the same guy, builds this place 2 years later. And his one stipulation is, I need you to make it larger and taller than their place. And so our cupola makes it that much taller, and our subspace makes it 500 square feet larger. So a lot of fun history, a lot of fun tie-in. So in the 90s, Jackie Safra combined all these kind of historic wine ranches together. So now it comprises of just under 900 acres, for about a quarter of the appellation's plantings, at about 225. So it is truly one of one. You know, to have 900 acres contiguous on a mountain AVA is kind of a rarity. But this experience here, which is forged by founders, like the name says, it's all about honoring our deep library. So we start with the 1979, and in typical European fashion, we'll go oldest to youngest, left to right. And so the 1979 is very tertiary. You're moving away from the primary fruit flavors, getting into more kind of Provençal or herbs de Provence, kind of that savory herbaceousness, slight earthiness. It's definitely in the sunset of its life, but it's a pretty sunset still. It's something really unique that, you know, you don't need a ribeye steak to pair this wine, right? You can do it with Italian pasta dishes, lighter meats, so it makes it incredibly versatile and just fun. I mean, I don't know how often you guys are opening up 1979 Napa Cabernets, but we get to on a fairly regular basis here. So that's the 1979. And then the next decade, 88, which is that middle glass. This is a Cabernet that you could say is kind of at its zenith. It's really at the pinnacle of what Cabernet can express. So you're getting some dark brooding fruits, but you're also getting a touch of that herbaceousness, some earth. The tannins have really calmed down, but still present. So everything's really firing on all cylinders, and it's coalescing together to make it something that's greater than the sum of its parts. So the 88 to us is kind of true to form, Spring Mountain Cab in an aged condition, legacy in a bottle, essentially. 98, guys, so heading into the third decade here. I was in third grade in 98, something like that. But this one is nice. It's called the shoulder vintage, right? Because 97 was the vintage of the decade there, and 98 came on its heels and wasn't really lauded by critics or anything, but wasn't a bad year either. It was just kind of a year. which tend to be my favorites in the long run. You know, they have more acid. They were generally kind of a cooler vintage wine, which just means they're late bloomers. And so this one, it's bright, it's very light. When you drink it, you're surprised it's as old as it is, right? At 26 years old, but that's quintessential Spring Mountain. So a lot of our exposure on this mountain is northeast. And so we get this morning as opposed to hot afternoon sun, right elevation. You know, we kind of sit in this little ravine between York Creek and the mountain. So we just get this beautiful little morning sun kiss, and then they're napping in the afternoon, the vines are. So this 98 is very exemplary of just kind of our style.